Vice President J.D. Vance didn't hold back when addressing the revival of the Abraham Accords under President Trump's return to office. In his words, the Abraham Accords were one of the greatest diplomatic breakthroughs of the last 40 years. The Biden administration did absolutely nothing with it, added 0 new countries out of pure political spite. But 2 months ago, we got a new president, one committed to expanding the Accords and bringing more nations together. This isn't just diplomatic theater. It's a tectonic shift in Middle Eastern geopolitics with serious implications for U.S. strategy, global energy, and long-term regional stability. In this script, we'll break down what the Abraham Accords are, why they stalled under Biden, how Trump is rebooting them, and what this new era of diplomacy means for the world. What are the Abraham Accords? Signed in 2020, the Abraham Accords were a series of normalization agreements between Israel and several Arab states, including United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Sudan, Morocco. The deals were brokered by the Trump administration and represented a dramatic departure from decades of failed diplomacy that hinged on solving the Israeli-Palestinian conflict first. Instead, Trump cut through the dogma. He built alliances on mutual economic benefit. He leveraged shared concerns about Iranian aggression. He offered strategic incentives like arms deals and aid. The result? The first wave of Arab-Israeli peace in decades. Why the Accords stalled under Biden? Despite inheriting a framework that was working, the Biden administration froze progress on the Accords. Why? Bunda partisan politics. The Accords were Trump's legacy. Biden's foreign policy team, many Obama-era holdovers, didn't want to give credit. 2. Obsession with Iran nuclear deal. The White House was focused on re-entering the Iran deal. This alienated Gulf Arab states who saw Iran as an existential threat, undermining the very trust that made the Accords possible. 3. Return to status quo thinking. Biden's team reverted to the old doctrine. No progress with Arab states until Palestinians are satisfied. But that model has failed for 50 years. Trump returns, the Abraham Accords 2.0. With Trump back in office, diplomacy is being re-energized. Woman, Saudi Arabia back at the table. The crown jewel of normalization is Saudi Arabia. Trump's team is reportedly deep in discussions to bring Riyadh into the fold. If that happens, it would reshape Sunni-Israeli cooperation, signal Iran's growing isolation, trigger a domino effect across the Muslim world. 2. Economic leverage is back. Trump is once again using trade deals, defense partnerships, infrastructure funding. These tools aren't bribes, they're investments in long-term stability. 3. End of apology diplomacy. Under Trump, the U.S. doesn't beg for consensus. It projects strength, and that strength opens doors. Why the Accords matter. This isn't just about Israel and the Arab world. The Abraham Accords are a new model for peace built on shared threats, Iran, terrorism, shared opportunities, tech, trade, tourism, decoupling from extremist veto power. It bypasses failed ideologies and lets nations act in their own strategic interests. That's how peace is made. Geopolitical impact. An isolation of Iran. The more Arab states normalize with Israel, the more Iran becomes diplomatically boxed in. This forces Tehran to either escalate and lose more legitimacy, or reform, unlikely but pressured. 2. End of oil hostage politics. As ties improve between Israel and the Gulf, energy security increases. This reduces dependence on unstable actors and puts the U.S. in a stronger position to negotiate global supply. 3. Collapse of anti-Israel bloc. Historically, Arab unity was built on rejecting Israel. The Accords dismantle that premise. It's now about innovation, security, and mutual progress. Why Trump's strategy works. Free, realpolitik over ideology. Trump ignores the fantasy that peace comes from endless concessions. He focuses on interests, leverage, and momentum. 2. Economic incentives beat rhetoric. Countries want jobs, tech, defense, and access to markets. Trump offers real deliverables, not virtue signaling. 3. Strong leadership builds trust. In the Middle East, strength earns respect. Trump's directness is seen not as a liability, but as clarity. That's what made the original accords possible. And that's what will bring more countries to the table now. Critics say it ignores the Palestinians. True. But let's be honest. Palestinian leadership has rejected every deal since Oslo. They are divided between Fatah and Hamas. They are more interested in international victimhood than regional cooperation. By moving forward with normalization, Trump is proving that progress can happen without being held hostage by extremists. And ironically, that may force Palestinian reform from the inside out. Another point of critique is that this strategy will create another war with Iran. This means more deaths and more destruction. Next targets for normalization: Oman, Indonesia, Mauritania, Niger, Chad. Even whispers of engagement from countries like Pakistan show the shift. Final thoughts: peace through strength is back. Vice President Vance is right. The Abraham Accords were a historic breakthrough, not because of empty handshakes, but because of a new model of diplomacy. The Biden administration let it gather dust. Trump has pulled it off the shelf, dusted it off, and restarted the engine of real peace building. Not peace through weakness. Not peace through apology. Peace through strength. Subscribe for more on global strategy, diplomatic resets, and power politics without the filters.